And jumping right into the game. This is a best of 5, the finals of qualifier number 4 for DSCL Bootcamp. In the 10 o'clock position on this map, we have our red Zerg player playing for team ATcm. It is Pattex.
And in the bottom, we have the blue Protoss on team Altijd Raak met Sjaak. He's the player who managed to make me more salty than a pickled herring. He is Rbvh.
Awesome. Altijd Raak met Sjaak. One of the clans that were actually active for the very first tournament I ever organized, the Nijmegen Student Starcraft League. So I think it's fun to see these guys back in action. Most of them from Nijmegen, actually. So let's see if he can make it out, or whether Pattex, the one from, like, I would say the more legitimate team. I don't want to, say anything bad about Altijd Raak met Sjaak, but I think ATcm is kind of a team that has a bigger focus on competitive play than Altijd Raak met Sjaak. So we're gonna have to see who's gonna come out on top, the very serious ATcm player or the Altijd Raak met Sjaak fun time, good luck, have fun manner player, Rbvh. Currently scouting, by the way, which he apparently always does after Pylon if it is a non-2-player map.
I think it's very nice. Scouting used to be very popular, I think, back in the day in Wings of Liberty, but I don't see many pro players drones or pro scouting, worker scouting in the beginning of the game.
Mm-hmm.
But I think it's very important. You want to know where your opponent is, if he's going hatch first, which Pattex is, or not, if he's cheesing. So I like this probe scout out of Rbvh here.
Mm-hmm. You will know sooner than his opponent does where his opponent is. I don't think... Yeah, so Rbvh now knows where Pattex is, and Pattex doesn't know where Rbvh is. Because he hit his probe, he didn't send his probe all the way into the main. All he needed to see was that there was actually an expansion down. This tells him all he needs to know. He has, of course, since he has a forge, the option of throwing down some pylons and some cannons, but he's not doing that now. Although he had some success with that earlier in this this qualifier, where he built some pylons and a cannon, which actually stayed alive until the end of the game, even though and he won the game. But I don't think that was because of those early pylons and cannons, because his Zerg opponent just moved his expansion somewhere else.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it still has quite a bit of impact. Not so much on the game itself, but also the way your opponent will feel like he's in the game. At least I always feel a bit triggered when I have to deal with all sorts of silly Protoss cheese, and it's hard to stay focused when stuff like that happens.
Mm-hmm. All right, I've got a question for I think Julke, because he plays Zerg.
Mm-hmm.
If you make units, do you ever take note of which hatchery will be building those units, or do you just select drones, select larvae, and make them whatever?
I have my my main hatchery hotkeyed to number 4, my expansion to number 5, and my third to number 6.
Okay.
So I can make drones at my natural and make units from my main.
Nice.
But I've seen players hotkeying queens instead of hatchery, so you can inject faster, but then you cannot make a difference. Which hatchery will build units and which one will build drones.
I use that for backspace injecting. Like I hotkey my queens, and I use, backspace is bound to a mouse key to cycle through all the hatcheries and then build, inject like that.
Okay.
Alright, so you also play Zerg every now and then, Jon?
I prefer off-racing as Zerg over off-racing as Protoss, but I don't really ladder with it. I had an interesting ladder encounter once with an Italian caster. I can't remember his name for the life of me, but I accidentally off-raced a Zerg, and I almost beat him, his Protoss, or it was his Zerg, either one of those. And then I messaged him and asked for a regame, and he said fine, and then I played Terran and I crushed him, which was quite fun. Losing as an accidental off-race is not very nice. Interesting from Pattex that he's not going for a third. Like, he saw the forge, and
now he is.
The gateway, so he should know that his opponent is completely incapable of attacking anything in the first 7 to maybe even 8 minutes. So yeah, this third is quite heavily delayed, I feel. He's been joining though a lot and getting speed.
I have a quick question that doesn't really pertain to the game right now, but I saw a suggestion on Reddit Starcraft, the subreddit for Starcraft earlier, where someone said, I would definitely off-race more often, I would try out more races, if I had like a separate MMR for the different races. I thought that was a very clever clever idea, actually. Because, Johan, you said you off-race every now and then, but I can imagine that your matchmaking rating is actually quite high with Terran, and then if you switch to Zerg, you have the same matchmaking rating, so you get matched up to players who are very good, but you're playing in a race that you're not familiar with, so your actual MMR might be lower than that. Would you think that's a good idea, to have separate MMRs per race?
I think it's a bit redundant, because you already have unranked.
Oh, okay.
Because I mean, if there's a situation where you play Terran at a Masters level, and you can't get your Zerg level above Gold, but to be honest, that's a bit rare because there are several core mechanics in each race, and at a certain point you start to notice them. But things like micro and macro are still very similar cycles. In your brain, you use the same areas in your brain for those. So usually the discrepancy between skill level between each race. It's not that difficult, and there are some pros, who will off-race just to see what the race is like and how strong their race is. And actually, we have a pretty hefty move out here with Zerglings. I'm not sure what triggered these. Like, it's not like he's going to be able to break the ramp with just speedlings, but he's going to commit regard. Oh no, he's going. Yeah.
Don't chase.
He's making more lings. Does he have a Baneling nest? No. This is so weird. Now he gets a Spire. At least when I play Zerg against Protoss, I try to play really reactive, like just do a lot of scouting, but committing early links like this only really makes sense if you're heavily anticipating like an early move out. The advantage of having links already out on the map is that you can contain your opponent. Like, he can't send a probe out on the map, it's gonna get taken out as long as Pattex actually remains vigilant with scouting.
I was just going to say, Pattex, with these many links, he will guarantee one thing, which is Protoss not making a third. He's also sending an Overlord in now to scout for anything. Oh, the Overlord is stuck behind the
It's stuck against this glass screen here. It can't fly over the
glass screen. Does anyone know what's up with these glass screens? Because the Overlord can't get behind them.
No! He gets away!
It's so silly. Yeah, a lot of people underestimate these
glass screens.
Yeah, like I've seen Warp Prism stuck there and then just get killed by my Marines, which was kind of funny.
Pretty cool. It's like a big, like one of these house flies bumps up against the window.
Yeah.
Doesn't
you get to smash it without getting your hands dirty.
Lots of Zerglings, like you said, only makes sense really if you expect a big move out. But actually, a kind of big move out is coming.
He reveals Blink. I'm not sure if Pattex noticed, but he did blink forward there. This move out is not that big of a threat. I think if Pattex, like, he's on 65 drones. If he just focuses on links and mutas, he can hold this. But I don't think it's Rbvh's intention here to move out. He should be getting a third at the very least. Wait, what's his probe count? No, he's on 44 probes. This is an all-in.
An all-in.
Yeah, this is two base.
So you can tell because he stopped making probes at 44. He has saturated both of his bases, and he's not looking to expand, taking a third because he's not making more drones probes. This is you diagnose this as an all-in. And while this Overlord is still bumping against the glass, lots of Blink Stalkers and Sentries moving up towards Pattex's base.
Yeah, and the creep spread for Pattex is really not good enough. I feel there's a lot of energy left on his queens. There's no tumors near the third. So. Oh, here comes the first engagement.
Hold all these stalkers in place, but the force fields are very good. Pattex has to retreat.
If this was on creep, it'd be a different story. Yeah. Okay, this is a pretty good all-in. The reason he got to make so much leeway, I feel, is because of the creep spread. Like, Protoss will feel a lot more cautious once he steps on the creep, but the creep is like at the ramp. He gets a decent surround here actually. Oh, he was on move command, so he takes a lot of damage. Needs to start blinking backwards, but he's actually losing Stalkers and Sentries by the dozen.
But all the Zerglings once again evaporate. 22 more in production, but the Mutas are actually completely gone now.
That's good.
I think there's too many Stalkers.
Yeah.
There's a few force fields left, but I don't think he needs them. No, it's GG. Rbvh takes game number 1 in this best of 5 finals.
Exactly, our Protoss players up 1 game. I do believe in the previous finals where he played, he took 1 game off of Maze, but I think that was the third game, and after that it was lights out. But now he takes the first game, and I think he'll be happy with that.
Yeah, I think so too. If I just look at his match history, he played in the qualifier number 2 and qualifier number 3. As you said, in the finals against Maze, which he lost 3-1.
Who did he lose to in qualifier number 2? Can you see that?
TVE.
Oh, TVE,
Is his
yeah.
name.
Okay. Also a long-time DSCL competitor.
Oh wait, he had 7 gates. Of course it wasn't all in. Wow. I should have seen that coming like 2 minutes before he actually moved out.
Did you? Oh, you didn't leave the game yet. You're checking the.
I'm watching the stream
Oh, they're watching the stream.
and checking the chat. Yeah, that link was a bit wasteful. Yeah, game 2. What map is it gonna be?
Not sure, because loser picks. The first map is set by the admin. After that, in every series, it is loser picks. So Pattex can now pick the map for the second game. Actually, guys, I'm going to get a little bit more water in my water bottle. It is empty. Put on a commercial. I'll be right back. Just like literally 40 seconds. Here we go. And welcome back, everybody. You're watching the finals of the 4th DSCL qualifier, DSCL Bootcamp qualifier, between Rbvh, a Protoss player, and ATgaming's Pattex. And currently it is 1-0 for Rbvh. We're waiting for the lobby for the second game. Pattex can pick the map. And we have just been watching a commercial from Cooler Master, our awesome sponsor, who of course has stuck with us ever since the NSSL. And also, we'll be sponsoring cool hardware for the winners of these qualifiers at the DSL Bootcamp event, and we might even have some Cooler Master hardware to give away to people watching the stream of the DSL Bootcamp event. And there will be more goodies to give away. I still haven't, I should have done that. Unpacked this huge box that's standing right next to me. It is full of Blizzard goodies. It has goodies ranging from family car stickers, Blizzard themed, to a Blizzard themed children's book, and also Blizzard themed skateboards, and of course the usual special editions and a World of Warcraft puppets and stuff like that. So we'll be having a goodie bonanza during the DSL Bootcamp event. Actually, I think this is what we thought of. If you want to win some of these goodies, you can actually do so by asking questions to the coaches. So as we're streaming DSL Bootcamp, focusing on coaching and feedback to the players, you can actually ask questions to the coaches using Twitter. Just tweet the questions at us, and some of those will get picked and be presented to the coaches, and they will answer the questions on stream. And some of the players, some of the people whose questions get asked, will win lots of goodies. So do get your questions ready. If you have questions on a specific theme, just write them down, because we're going to be discussing different themes on the first day of DSL Bootcamp. We're not sure exactly about the themes yet, but it's going to be stuff like build orders, scouting, timings, how do I react to my opponent, and we'll have different hours of broadcast, each focusing on a different theme. And during these themes you can ask questions relating to the theme, and of course win goodies if you do so. How does that sound, guys?
That sounds really nice, Frank.
That's what I thought. Alright, Rbvh using the bathroom for just a very quick second there, so we're just wait until he comes back. In the meanwhile, I'm going to take a look at the bracket, see if there's any other fun results that I missed. Let's see, Rbvh running through it as usual, I could say now. Yeah. Let's see who left us in the first round already. So Ghost and Paint, unfortunately, Artquak as well. Let's see.
I like to think that's a variation of Aardvark.
Oh yeah, maybe it is. Okay. The players are ready, by the way. And the game is starting. Good times. I'm going to set the score as soon as we get into the game, and the map is going to be Deadwing. This is a 4-player map. It's quite large. How does this compare in size to like the old 4-player maps, like for example Shakura's Plateau?
Well, in a couple of weeks we can find out, because then the ladder will be full of it. Yeah, I don't think this map is very different.
Play 1v1 on the good old maps again.
I'm not quite sure about that. Like, I think especially Protoss players are gonna have a bad time. Potentially Terrans, because Blink seems really strong on some of these maps. But I think Swarm hosts in general have actually a lot of good places to sit and camp. Annoy the opponent.
I was thinking Terran would have a great time, especially on maps like Metalopolis, because of the Reaper, and you can now make Reapers and just go.
I played one game with a friend on Metalopolis. Actually, 2 on Metalopolis. Once I lifted to the gold and went for a 1-1-1 SCV pool, which unfortunately didn't work, but it was quite close. And the other one was indeed, I opened a Reaper and I got like two pro kills and you couldn't do anything about it. So yeah, I guess Reapers are quite good, but and siege tanks, I guess, as well. I think mech. I mean, right now we don't have the siege tank upgrade anymore, so that makes maps like Shikura's like pretty easy to
That's
like
true.
secure. Yeah.
But also just for nostalgia reasons and for the feels.
I agree with you in that it's quite a bold move of Blizzard to do this kind of a map pool, because like you said, the game has been evolving and there have been patches and there have been things that were fixed, and it's not just like the mechanics of the units and their upgrades. It is also the maps that evolve with the game. So if you just all of a sudden switch back to good old maps, then there might be some imbalances. Yes, so I don't know. Some people after a little bit might get annoyed. So
does anyone know the pro leagues like WCS? Do they use the new map pool as well? Do they also use the old, like the new map pool?
Well, that's the fun part. Like, they're not going to use this because this map pool will only be active during off season, I believe. And of course, tournaments like DreamHack Winter will still have. They've already determined their map pool, I believe.
Okay. So the big tournaments will not be using the fancy map pool. Of course, we will be using it, right?
I'm just
so one of the big tournaments is.
I'm just massively disappointed Steps of War didn't make it.
Oh my God! Yes, Steps of War.
That would have been so silly.
Uh-huh.
I mean, I'm gonna play a lot of mech on these maps, and I think I'm gonna annoy a lot of people, especially Zergs, because those are already very annoyed by my playstyle in general. Yeah, it should be good.
This game is looking like any game of Rbvh so far, going for an expansion with a forge, adding gateway, and soon the cybernetics core will be added on as well after the gateway finishes. And of course an expansion, and the same is going on at Pattex's base. I kind of missed it. Did he go for a pool first or hatch first?
I'm not sure.
I'm not sure either. I'm not sure. I think he went hatch first.
Let's decide. He went hatch first.
Yeah.
The chat can decide if we're right or wrong.
He only just started mining gas, so I think it wouldn't make a lot of sense to do that if he went pool first. He's getting very lucky with the scouting positions, because now he will have an overlord in place over both the main and the natural. So his scouting will be a bit better than it will would be in the previous game.
Yep. Let's see if Rbvh decides to go for an all-in once again. He might decide not to, because maybe he wasn't planning on it, but also because he knows he's been scouted, and that all-ins do depend to a certain degree on not getting scouted. Yeah, they're all-ins, and there's a certain risk involved with them.
Also want to know that probe actually sneaks by the links. That can be quite interesting. What I wanted to note is that I'm not sure how this matchup works on this map. I haven't seen it played at all. I'm not sure why. It might benefit those. I think the amount of ramps here really benefit Protoss. I think if you just make 2 Immortals and a bunch of sentries, like Immortal Sentry all-in, standard one, seems like it'll be really effective unless you get caught out on the open map.
Probe is still scouting for a possible third base. He will get to see that there is none so far. But then maybe he'll die?
Oh, come on. Oh,
Come on, get.
such disappointment.
What in the the Zerglings? This shit, fuck it, just run away.
He's making links again. I'm
Yeah,
not
sure.
sure. Yeah.
I was gonna say Pattex making links again. I don't know why. If I were Pattex, I would just try to grab my third, even though the probe is being a bit of.
Alright, guys, it's a Stargate. Buckle
That
up,
is-
we're in for the long haul.
Yep, this is also classic Rbvh in PvP. That is, in PvP he does this, makes a Stargate, and then starts producing Phoenixes. I'm not sure what he's going to do with the Stargate in this game.
Phoenixes.
Phoenixes, all right.
Yeah, I mean, it might be an off-timing oracle. You sometimes see that, but it's quite rare. I don't see it at all anymore, actually. But I've seen it a few times and can get a significant amount of worker kills as long as you can sort of dodge the queen. But yeah, this is usually for Phoenixes.
Oh.
Okay.
All right.
Twilight.
Twilight. Mind games.
Mind games. Yeah. Honestly, Phoenix is quite good in
confusing
this.
everyone, even us.
He's just fucking with the casters.
He's doing a good job then.
Like,
Uh-oh.
here's the thing. Yeah. Indeed.
Oh,
That's Wish. Wish, get out.
yeah.
Okay.
Wish out. Oh, there we go.
Oh, he beat you to it.
He beat me to it.
Okay, so this is a rather big map. We see the early lair from Pattex. It's actually earlier than it was previous game by at least like 1.5 minutes, I think. Really early. He went straight for it before even getting his third. Mutas are quite good on this map. So are Lynx. It's quite well. It's not wide open because you can still actually sneak by the sides to get to your opponent's base here. But Mutas are considered quite good, and it's a bit of a toss-up whether Rbvh's decision to cancel the Stargate was good or not, because once you commit to Phoenix versus Muta, Phoenixes are of course good, but once the Corruptors get mixed in, it turns out to be a whole different ballgame, and you really need to be careful as a Protoss. It's also really difficult to prevent the Zerg from expanding here in the late game.
So what is Rbvh doing actually? So he added the Twilight Council and going for Blink, but he's not adding a ton of gateways. So is this more of a defensive Blink? What is this?
You forgot +2 attack, I think.
Okay.
He's still he's chrono boosting it out right now. The timing might line up actually with Blink, in which case it is the exact same build he did previous game, but he's actually going for a Nexus. Like, I think he doesn't know himself either, and these links, yeah, that's
Gonna get a cancel. Yeah.
That's too bad for Rbvh.
well, he didn't have any intention of defending it, it seems.
No.
There were no units. Yeah, looking at the gate count, he's adding 4 more gates. So we see the same timing we saw in the last game, and the composition from Pattex is the same. Note once again the significant lack of creeps, but okay, as I said, that he moves that one queen forward to finally get some creep going, but
Yeah, this is actually this is funny. So Pattex scouted Rbvh going for a third base and then cancelling it. Of course, this might tell Pattex that Rbvh is not going for a 2-base all-in, but actually by cancelling that and going for 4 extra gateways, we're now back to the same situation we had last game. But now Pattex has reason to believe that this is not what Rbvh is doing.
Blink? No. Okay. Well, he did not reveal Blink, and that really says to me, yeah, he didn't blink there. So
Okay.
that really says to me that he does intend to go for once again this same attack. Plus
He's
2 is
also
about to
30
finish.
probes, so I think you're right.
Yeah, he's on
Ah.
45 probes.
Good call. Wow.
But yeah, I think this is going to be a bit more difficult. Like, there's overseers. If
There's
he
a lot
drops,
of stalkers, I think.
yeah, the
Last
army is
game we had
significantly
a lot more
smaller.
stalkers.
Yeah, his gates were slower. He missed
Needs
the
a
round of
force
warp
field.
especially. Oh, and he gets cut out on the map. Force fields are good, but actually blinking away like that may not be the
Sentries
best
are getting very
decision.
vulnerable, but they survive. I think most of them survive.
He lost quite a few.
Killed all the
soldiers.
links.
Yeah, I think.
Look, 3
Pattex-
sentries were lost there.
Okay. He needs to reinforce, man.
and he doesn't have
Got
a
a
forward
pylon there.
pylon.
Oh, here
Yeah.
it is.
This is... Oh, actually, one forward pylon
One
finishing
pylon
up
gets
now.
found, another one probably
Is
will
it-
get found too.
Yeah, if that second pylon got sniped, this attack would have been over. Like, he's already behind on supply. Pattex is getting +2/+2. He should snipe the sentries. Snipe
Yes.
the
Oh, it's
sentries.
a nice surround attack.
Oh, this is still a good surround, and the blinks. When you're surrounded, blinks don't do much.
Nope.
Yeah, this
Yeah.
is very nice.
I think this is game actually because yeah, there we go.
Yeah,
GG.
Rbvh.
Good call, Joon. Alright, this
Nice.
attack does nothing, and Rbvh did not have any like follow-up options for this because he was stuck on 2 bases. He was not going to expand anytime soon with the Zerg pressuring that hard. So,
Pattex
GG.
started up 1-1.
Exactly.
This feels really good for Pattex, I can tell you, because he faced essentially the same attack twice. Of course, Rbvh slipped up a bit, but it's essentially the same attack and he smashed it, so that feels good.
Water also feels good. Dude, if you're talking, I think you lose a lot of moisture through your mouth.
Yep.
I don't mean that I'm spitting while I'm talking, but it's like, I mean, as you're breathing, you just exhale a lot of liquids.
It's especially bad for your throat because that doesn't get lubricated as much.
I know what you mean. I have to teach sometimes, so there's days where on the Wednesday I have to talk for like 4 hours straight to like second-year psychology students. One of which is Dark Omicron, by the way.
Wait, you teach Vivi?
He's not in my group, but yeah, he does the course where I teach at. Actually, he had his exam yesterday, I think, or the day before. I'm not sure. Recently, he had his exam in that subject, that course.
You get to grade it?
I get to grade it. Yes, I do. I'll get his exam to grade.
you should like poke fun at him on Twitter, like, oh, that doesn't look very good, Ferry. Yeah. I know that's unethical, but it's still kind of funny.
Oh man, yeah. Of course, I'm not gonna say anything about his exam.
No, you don't have to.
No, but
he said enough about it himself on Twitter.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I don't know. He asked me a question on Skype about it earlier too. So actually, the subject is philosophy of psychology, and that's kind of it's a fun subject. So, but like I was saying, sometimes I have to talk for like 4 to 5 hours straight on Wednesday afternoon, and then if I have to do a class after that, so that's another 4 hours of talking, and then sometimes on Thursday morning I have another 4 to 5 hours of straight talking to psychology students. So that's about when my voice gives out.
Tea with honey.
You're a professional talker.
I'm a professional talker.
Yeah, he is.
Oh my god. This is game number 3, currently 1-1, and the map is Overgrowth, and we're jumping into it real soon now. Just gotta load it up.
I hope we get to see some shenanigans. I always like when people cheat.
Here we go.
Do some weird stuff.
Into the game, and in the bottom bottom left corner, almost had it right. Bottom left corner of Overgrowth, it is the Protoss player Rbvh.
And in the top right, we have our red Zerg player tying up the game 1-1. It's Pattex.
Yup. Like we've discussed before, Pattex is with Team ATcm, and ATcm is, I can think it's safe to say, currently the biggest team in the Netherlands. In terms of Starcraft, at least. I'm not sure about the other games. And the biggest in terms of not just amount of players, but also in terms of their results. Of course, they have the likes of Yona and Euthermal on their roster, which are heavy hitters indeed. And also people like Pattex. Pretty cool.
Yeah. Early scout by the Protoss here.
Yeah.
I think he wants to punish the hatch first.
Mm-hmm.
But this is a really early scout. Like, wait,
yeah, for a 2-player map, it is definitely early. Earlier than usual for Rbvh.
Like, he's really anticipating some early lane play out of Pattex, but he's going to see that there's only drones. So, yeah, Pattex really has to build up a spawning pool here first, but he's not going to, and he's going to regret that.
This is going to be annoying.
There's going to be a pylon there.
Oh, but he could throw down the hatchery if he times it just right. Yeah, just wait and time it. Wait. Oh, he could have done it. Okay.
Oh, what? Oh,
I think it's very nice by Rbvh. He just messes up the... well, it didn't. He delayed it a little bit, but...
It's going Nexus first, though, so it's okay.
Yeah, I'm not sure if this was... Because Rbvh is now returning with his probe. The probe, of course, could have been mining all this time, so I'm not sure if this slight delay of the hatchery was worth it. But of course, there's also the scouting, and now he has a probe out on the map to hold the watchtower.
Yeah, it's mostly the scouting information. Like, he knows his opponent's going hatch first, and is now overly paranoid about the cannon rushes we can see from the drone floating about the natural. Overlord is going to be able to spot the forge not being completed yet, so he knows that there will be no cannons. And if he sees the Nexus, he should take a third immediately. That would be my call, personally. But he's actually not gonna... Wait, I need to swap vision. Yeah, he sees the Nexus, so the first...
Maybe he is. Oh no, he's just... Oh, he's scouting again for proxies. Do you see that? For cannons.
For cannons, yeah. He's very scared, it looks like.
Well, or diligent. You could also say diligent.
Or maybe this drone is just gonna walk. No.
No. Make a third, maybe, but no.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
You can take a third, dude. No, he's just gonna do his same old build order, it seems. I forgot to mention that, especially in Diamond League, like I'm 100% guilty of this. Players, they ladder and they only use like one matchup, one build per matchup. Like I like to vary it per map sometimes because mech doesn't always work on every map. But yeah, players will simply stick to their builds even if reacting to a certain thing they scout might actually be better. Even if it's only marginally better, but will still give them a significant advantage. So staying in that comfort zone as a diamond player can actually be really important.
Yeah, but this is one of the things that probably we'll be discussing at DSCL Bootcamp.
Yes.
How do you pick a build order? And of course it's good to be working on one build order, but a very important part is scouting your opponent and then reacting to it. If you go scout and you don't react to it, then why scout in the first place, of course?
Yeah, going beyond the build order, I would call it, is vastly important. What's also massively important here is Pattex managed to find the probe that's out on the map. This can be a very important indicator, like this might mean that he was intending to go for something like an early gateway push. But the way he sacrificed that probe kind of tells me he wasn't.
Right. It kind of tells Pattex the same, I think.
He's going for Stargate.
Stargate again. Yeah.
Is he gonna go for the Stargate for reals this time?
No, he's gonna go for the Stargate cancel into 7 gate Link Starker +2. I don't know, I think Stargate is fine on this map. However, by going Stargate as a Protoss, you leave the Zerg with a lot of space and initiative. Because Phoenixes at the most will kill queens and drones, and just a handful of spores will prevent most of that damage. They, of course, scale decently if your opponent goes into mutas, but if your opponent goes like swarm hosts, and they can, if they spot Phoenixes, as a Zerg, you are free to take a third base and go into swarm hosts. And yeah, not a lot of Protoss players like to do that, so I don't see Phoenixes often. And once again, there's the pressure, and he sneaks in actually, so focus the sentry, gets it.
It's very strange. One of the Zerglings slipped by the probe. That was very odd.
Yeah, he's actually mismicroing a bit here. Like he should have ran past the cannon into the main and tried to be annoying as possible. But that's, that I wouldn't say it's masters level, but usually you don't think about that in a situation like this, unless you're heavily experienced.
Yeah, experience is a large part of it, of course. If you've seen a situation many times, you don't have to think as long as you would if it's the first or maybe even fourth time that you see it.
It's actually more instinct. One of the things they, like in South Korea, and a certain they conducted a study. Well, it was relatively small, but it's still a valid study where they had professional players play and had more casual players, let's say equivalent to Diamond tier, versus a high-level Grandmaster professional players. They had them play while they were injected with a bit of radioactive glucose.
What?
Yes, very slight radioactivity, so that so that it is detectable on a what do you call that scan again? It's not a
PET scan.
PET scan.
Oh, PET scan indeed. So what the glucose is consumed directly by the brain, and with a PET scan you can then see which areas of the brain are consuming the most glucose, ergo being the most active when they are when they are playing. And the difference was that the frontal lobes were a lot more active with the less experienced players, whereas near the base of the brain, which is, as you probably know, Frank, what do we find there?
The cerebellum.
So they were much more active with their memory. They were much more reliant on muscle memory and habit in playing than actively thinking. Right. So things just come natural when you play.
That is a very nice result. I can imagine you could do the same study with an fMRI. That would then you don't have to inject people with.
I think it was radioactive glucose.
Right. No, but actually that can be very cool because of course you can't really play Starcraft inside an fMRI scanner. So I think that's a very nice method. And yes, and for those people wondering, I did do a course on brain anatomy. I did take a human brain apart. Thank you very much.
Sweet.
Ooh,
pretty
Mr.
cool.
Scientist.
Yeah, I'm a philosopher. I need to do neuroanatomy.
Yeah. So here's the thing you can do when you're going Phoenixes. You can still add a lot of gates and do some pressure. And this is something Pattex did not see coming. He has a few roaches and he's making more, but he was also making a round of drones, and I think his third is in a lot of trouble.
Yep, he has some Zerglings for defense though, actually quite a little bit of them. But there's more and more Warpings coming, and like you said, this third is in a bit of a spot of trouble. Hydralisk is out there now.
Yeah, I think he should be able to hold. Okay, there's
very
links.
close. The links come in now. I think they all
Yeah.
save the third.
Okay, the links will save this, and I think the actual damage. Wait, how many?
Oh, one Zealot still going at it. 13 drones were killed, so that's quite significant.
Yeah, that's quite significant indeed. The Phoenixes didn't do anything in that battle though. I think he didn't want to. He wanted to focus on the Spore Crawlers first. Yeah, I'm not sure if that was worth it. I mean, he's
2 Hydras.
Oh, okay, now these Phoenixes do get annoying. But looking at this from the Protoss side, like we see he's making Colossi, adding on 4 more gates as well as the thermal lens, +1 armor and blink. You usually do this off of 3 base, not 2 base, meaning that this will be a complete all-in. The Phoenixes do help, even against the Hydra base composition, but it's mostly the Colossi and the Stalkers that are going to be a lot of damage dealing and tanking. Actually, Pattex is down to 46 drones, so this is actually looking like something that could really work here for Rbvh.
I like how Pattex is using his links to scout around the map, finding these lone pilots and taking them out. This queen, too bad, gets taken out by the Phoenixes.
Yeah, that's what you want to do with Phoenixes and not lose them to Hydras. Like you can use them as a continuous scouting tool. We see that a lot of Zerglings have been added, which means that it's worth it to warp in a couple of Zealots as well before the engagement. The army size of Rbvh though is not that big. I'm really not sure what he's been spending his money on. He actually has 51 probes, so this doesn't feel like a 2-base all-in, and he can still take a third even though it's at the 30-minute mark and he's quite a bit late.
Pattex needs to get some more Hydras out, I feel like. He needs to put some guys into gas at his third. There's only 2, but there should be 6 working. Oh, he's adding on more Hydras now.
So he's gonna get a 4th, and he's moving out onto the map. I think taking map control is fine, but he shouldn't go up the ramp and try to commit to a fight or anything, because he will lose against 3 Colossi. Okay, he scouts with a Ling and he sees how many Colossi there are. That's such an important tell. You know, he really needs to know that an attack is coming. He needs to get creep spread going. You should have scouted whether there is a third as well, because if he spots that there is no third, he has to know that there is an attack coming. There's even a pylon being built like that. Yeah. There's no front warping pylon here for Rbvh.
If Pattex is smart, he can use these links to move around the map and get a nice pick-off maybe in the natural, because there's no Zealot defending. But I'm not sure if Pattex is cool enough, not stressed out too much to... No.
He's getting a Spire, and that's a bit late. Like, adding on Corruptors to this composition might have done a lot of work.
Yeah, it'll be too late.
Okay, as this push is gonna happen, this attack is gonna come, and there's a 4th base going down for Pattex, but it's in a position that is impossible to defend currently.
Oh, he's gonna get force field out of his third.
Oh, but he's gonna come in from behind.
Nice force field.
He could have come in
so
from
good.
behind. Let's see, he's going around.
He's gonna take a third. Maybe gonna recall out? No, there's no Mothership Core.
Wait, no, there's no Mothership Core.
No. Oh, I'm a Colossus, I can recall too.
Yeah, so there's no Observer with his army, so he can't clear creep.
There's one very close though. There we go. He picks it up right now.
Okay.
Oh,
drones.
Whoa.
Oh, this army is completely out of position. There's still a lot of force fields too. Yeah, he has to fight. Nice
yeah,
split.
he just has to fight.
Focus losses.
Well, maybe it'll be close. Nice force fields though.
Oh, come on.
Colossi are not really doing anything. Now they are back into the fight and draining down the damage on those Hydralisks. That is painful to watch.
Oh, you should be lifting some of the Hydralisks. They'll be close.
Oh, he's gonna hold it off.
This is close.
He's gonna hold it off.
He needs to attack the Stalkers too.
Reinforcements, join in.
If he were to pick up now, he could win the fight, but no.
Oh, this is...
Yeah, that's
very
why.
good. I think... Yeah, the Stalkers will get cleaned up.
More Stalkers coming in though. Finally the reinforcements doing something.
Ah, the pylon survived.
Look at the bank for both players.
Wow.
Welcome to Diamond League.
You're so mean.
No, that's just the way it goes. Like I can't fold these players. It's just.
It's true though.
There we go. 4th base going down, 3rd down. It is looking very difficult for Pattex currently, but he has a lot of minerals. Does he have larvae to spend them on though? If you look at he's 1 larvae currently, so.
Pattex needs to kill the 3rd and the 4th. I mean, he can. There's nothing defending it.
Yeah. Fortunately for the Protoss, he doesn't need larvae to make units.
Nope. He has to make something. He definitely has to win. But like we said, this is an all-in. So if this fails, there's nothing he can do. But it looks like he's going to do significant damage.
Are there any links? If he had larvae to just make links, he would probably hold this.
Yeah.
Oh, even lifting some of the roaches. This is very nice.
Yeah. G.
Very nice play by Rbvh.
All right.
He takes the lead 2-1.
Okay, so this is a back and forth series. After the first win by Rbvh, then a counter win from Pattex, and now it is back to 2-1. Pattex, Rbvh up 1 game. We're drawing near the end of tonight's broadcast because next game is match point for the evening. Best of 5.
I must say though, I do like the quality of the games. Especially the last game was very back and forth. I think Pattex was in a nice position a few times in the game. So they look like they're very closely matched, these two players.
This is so silly. Like I'm just checking Twitter for a second, and the first thing I see is Harstem saying, "I made a new friend on the plane," and he posts 4 selfies with some dude he met on the plane, apparently, for no apparent reason at all. I love those kinds of things on Twitter.
I saw him tweet earlier that he was alone on Schiphol Airport, and that anyone could come in and join him.
Yeah.
Cool.
Oh, that's pretty funny. Oh, we actually have Euthermal in our chat.
Yeah, I saw him come around. Hi, Euthermal. Welcome to the chat.
Pattex is love. Pattex is life. Nice.
Alright. Pretty awesome, you guys. I hope you're all excited for BlizzCon, by the way. That is coming up real soon. In fact, it is on November 7th and 8th, or 8th and 9th. It's that weekend anyway. But they've decided to start streaming the weekend before that as well. So there's going to be esports content on 2 weekends. And I think they've split up the Starcraft tournament as well. I'm not sure. I think there's going to be Starcraft matches on the weekend before and the real BlizzCon weekend.
Wait, what are the dates again? It's 8th and 9th.
It's right? November 8th and 9th, yes, or maybe 7th as well, I'm not sure. And the weekend before that as well.
Yeah, I literally just opened my calendar and see I have nothing to do in those 2 days. So that's going to be good.
Cool, nice. I have a lot to do that weekend because I'm joining a conference. I have to give a presentation. And actually, we originally planned to have DSCL Bootcamp on November 1st and 2nd, but then we realized just in time that BlizzCon was going to be streaming content on that weekend as well, like the weekend before the actual BlizzCon. So we thought, well, maybe people will be watching BlizzCon instead of DSCL Bootcamp. They'd be silly for doing so, but still we figured maybe give these people a chance to watch both things, and we moved up DSCL Bootcamp.
Alright, yeah. I'm actually going to a concert on the 7th. Linkin Park, it's been my dream since I was 15.
Ah! I have memories of Linkin Park.
Exactly. I was thinking like, I'm 25, let me give my internal 15-year-old
I remember how I used to play, what was it again? The 4th Need for Speed, I think? Hot Pursuit, something like that. And I had the CD of Linkin Park in the back. That was great fun.
Yeah.
Does the name King Sejong Station ring any bells, guys?
Of course.
It does. It's on my screen right now, Frank.
Yes, actually, I've seen that before. Actually, it's right now on my screen. So that is the next map. Is map number 4 in this series. Between Rbvh, Pattex, the finals of the 4th DSCL Open, DSCL Bootcamp qualifier. Let me check this out. That's 2, 1.
Great. In the bottom right, we have our red Zerg players. He's from ATN Gaming or AT Gaming?
It's AT Gaming, and they're sponsored by Cooler Master.
So.
Yeah,
ATN, I was wondering why the CM was in the name. Okay, yeah. Anyway, it's our red Zerg player, Pattex.
Yeah, in case you were confusing them with ATN, that's Team Alternate Attacks, they're a German team.
I'm just going to go ahead and
ATN
introduce...
in the DSCL Invitational?
Sorry, what?
Was there a guy from ATN in the DSCL Invitational?
I don't think so.
ATN? No.
Maybe there was at Epicon.
We still have to introduce...
let's... Here we go. It is Altijd Raak met Sharks, Rbvh. Yes. Alright, he is up...
Guys, I have a question for you.
Go ahead. Question.
So the map is called King Sejong Station.
Yeah.
LE. What does LE stand for?
Ladder Edition.
Ah, thank you. I was thinking it was standing for Light Edition or... I know.
I was hoping you were gonna give us like this really interesting question, like who is King Sejong?
Yeah, exactly.
Well, let me tell you, King Sejong is the one who actually pretty much united Korea as a nation and pretty much invented the Korean language, which is a whole lot simpler than Chinese, or at least Mandarin, which is one hell of a language to learn, probably even harder than Dutch.
Are you serious?
What? Okay, so explain. So there's one guy, this king,
Yes,
he
yes.
unites a country and invents a language?
Yeah, what a baller.
Nice. Pretty cool. All right, and
My goals.
why is this his station?
Well, I guess someone really need to come up with a good name for it, so they named it after him.
Okay.
That's
Alright,
true.
pretty cool. Thank you, Ewan, for sharing this piece of knowledge. But wait. Which countries did he unite again?
Just Korea.
You mean, like this was before the North and South split?
Yeah,
Then?
no, this is like feudal era.
Okay. Right. Okay.
Like 1500s or something.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you should know that Korea has always been, like several other Southeast Asian regions, has always been been the victim of a lot of struggles, going to war with Japan a lot and stuff.
Hmm.
You guys are so smart. One's talking about philosophy and science and neuroimaging. Oh no, that was you as well. And the other one's talking about Korea and the feudal age.
That doesn't make someone smart, does it? Okay. Thank you
Well,
for the
I-
compliment. I'll take it.
In the pocket.
You should.
Like, I could be humble about it, but nah.
Nah. Alright, we see Rbvh up to his usual shenanigans, going for a forage expand, or expand into forage. That was probably the other way around, right? So, but that is what we have come to expect to see from him, and he's been winning with it. So why not continue? This is exactly what I said the previous qualifier. He didn't win in the finals, but I said, well, you should try again, because if you make it to the finals, big chance that you'll make it very far in the next qualifier as well. And here he is proving me right.
Yeah, I wouldn't say I'm rooting for Rbvh, but I kind of do hope he wins, so I don't have to play against him again in the next qualifier. So yeah, and then it also doesn't feel bad losing to the guy who wins the tournament.
Nope. You could always say, well, and you were just he just did you a favor because you would have lost to him anyway in the end. So by meeting him early, you now got the evening free to cast.
I wouldn't be so sure. I think you're drawing one conclusion a bit too fast.
Okay. You think in a best of 5 you maybe be able to take him?
Yes.
Best of 5 is different than best of 1. Did you play a best of 1 or best of 3 against him?
That's the one.
Best of 1, okay.
That's what makes
I'm a
it
bit
extra salty.
disappointed to see that both players opening up with the same builds all these games. I would have liked one of the players to take a gamble and maybe do something like a proxy gate or an early pool. But I think maybe this is Diamond League again. I'm not sure.
I was going to refrain from saying that, but okay.
As a
Right.
Silver Leaguer, I have no right, of course, to say something.
No.
Okay, like as a silver leaguer, do you change up your games or do you go 7 pool with your 2v2 partner every single game?
I do. I must say, I do 7 pool every 2v2 game, and I rarely do a 6 pool or a 7 pool in 1v1. But when people do it on WCS or something, I'm always really excited to see what happens. I really love these little micro battles with a few units and which have such big consequences for the game.
Wow. Yep. Our
Yeah, they're
tails
small
be
battles.
wagging.
The small
Not too
battles,
bad.
a little bit of micro can make it, a huge difference. Well, we have 3 gates being added on for Rbvh, and he's getting +1, so this will be a gateway timing. He has a probe out on the map down at the south, which is in prime position to go for a heavy zealot attack on the third, which is, being made
Exactly
right
the
now.
thing we saw last game, maybe.
It might not be Zealots though, because he's adding on Twilight Council. Of course, that could be for Zealot speed, but I think it's going to be for Blink. He did. By the way, in PvP, Rbvh's go-to build is definitely a Zealot Archon, but I don't think in PvC that's what he's going to be up to.
That's so silly. Like, it's Zealot Archon is completely all in PvP. He gets crushed in the late game.
Yep.
Unless you have a lot of immortals, then you stand a chance.
He does make Immortals with it, yes.
Okay, that's a different. Then you can still transition into classes, so it's a different ball game. Or how did Van Gaal say that again?
Yes.
It's a different.
A different kind of cook. You know, I really didn't understand it. It was like, how is that a Dutchism? And what was the cook? I didn't get it. But then, yeah, well, yeah, it took me a while.
Such a Dutchism, even the Dutch don't get it.
Yeah, exactly. Oh man.
Okay. So, yeah, looking at Rbvh, you correctly mentioned he got a Twilight and he's getting +2 on Blink again. Observe, he is once again cut pro production, is now warping in auto sentries.
4 extra gateways as well.
Exactly. So this seems to be his go-to PVC build.
Uh-huh.
Oh, he's getting a third. Oh.
Oh,
Maybe-
this is nice.
Maybe it's a fake third.
He can't actually defend it.
Maybe he
against,
wants
like, a
it.
Hydraling attack.
Maybe he wants it to be scouted. You see that? You see that? He saw the Overlord there, but he didn't attack it. Maybe he's hoping that the Overlord's going to scout the third.
Maybe if he could, he can attack it, so the Overlord will.
Here we go,
Yeah,
here we go.
He should nudge it towards third, like that way.
Oh, shit!
Recall! That was actually quite good.
Ooh. Oh no, he didn't.
Oh, okay. Well, he got away pretty much okay. Yeah, he doesn't know there's a third. What the F?
Alright. Is he gonna cancel the third before it finishes? If yes, then he has to do it really quickly now. It's gonna get scouted?
He can't.
Yeah, okay.
cancel.
Oh, okay.
Just
before the cancel.
That's
Yeah.
too bad.
Look at those proxy opponents from Rbvh on the right side, by the way.
Uh-huh.
I think he wants to go and break those rocks or something.
He still has a probe down in the south. Oh, Pattex is taking a fourth, maybe? That Violent can do some real damage then.
Yes. Once again, okay, so this might be... Pattex might now be thinking, okay, clearly he has not prepared himself for a 2-base all-in. Why would he have let his Nexus finish if he did? But no, seeing all these Stalkers and sentries out on the map might tell him otherwise, though. Maybe
I'm
he's not
sure
fooled.
what Rbvh's plan is here. Like, he could go for +3. He's adding on pylons because he can't warp and stuff otherwise. Okay, yeah, this push should really tell the story.
Uh-huh.
Rbvh needs to hurry up because +1/+1 is almost ready for Pattex.
Yeah, that will
That's gonna
finish.
finish regardless.
Yeah, it's not gonna. That's too bad.
Okay, so let's just look at the armies here.
Ooh.
There's 8 mutas, which is not enough. A lot of links, but going up this ramp will make the sentries very effective. And I don't think he will be able to hold the natural.
Alright, okay. Lots of Overlords in production.
Force fields. Thank you.
Oh, that was a good pullback actually. Now he can go up the ramp. Needs more mutas.
Lots more Stalkers being warped in, though.
It's gonna
Shooting
be
away at that extractor.
it's gonna be so hard to get a good surface area here.
Oh, yeah.
Decent force fields.
Okay, there he is.
Those are better.
Okay. Are these Stalkers targeting the Mutas first or the Zerglings?
Usually Zerglings, whatever is closest.
Okay.
But yeah, now the army of Rbvh is starting to snowball. Like, there's no way to get a good surface area, and the link count has actually been decimated, and yeah, he just needs to blink back a little bit.
I think he's gonna do it.
Yep.
Yeah,
I think Rbvh is gonna win this game and the tournament.
Oh, there we go. GG left the game.
Yes, there he goes.
That means
RBVH.
it's 3-1 for Rbvh, and like you already said, Ayuka, this means that Rbvh wins today's qualifier.
Woo.
And I want to congratulate him. This is really cool.